Hello friends, how you doing? Going to be taking a look at one of my all-time favorites this week, Mr. Robert Johnson himself. With this lesson, we're going to be taking a leaf out of John Hammond's book when he revamped If I Had Possession Over Judgment Day. And this particular tune, Last Fair Deal Going Down, if you go back and listen to Robert Johnson's original takes of this, you'll notice that there is the typical rhythmic complexity in what is ostensibly a very simple harmonic arrangement, you know, just a one chord vamp with a little bit of a five chord thrown in there at the end to turn it around. But woven into that is his right hand work, which is always playing with timing and the feel of the rhythm. And if you listen to both takes, you'll notice little differences in each. You know, he didn't seem to play it the same each time. For our purposes, and in fact for my purposes, when I revamped this tune, I wanted to play it with a band, with the bass and drums. So I wanted it to be quite straight and almost punky in its approach, just kind of a really stomping version. So I've kind of flattened out a lot of those idiosyncrasies. It's very hard to replicate them for me in any case, so we'll make it a bit easier and we'll just play it kind of straight, you know. Okay, so without further ado, let's learn the tune. It's pretty simple in its essence, okay? We're in an open D tuning, so you've got D, A, D, F sharp, A, D, from the bottom to the top. Vestapol. Alright? And then we just need to keep this boogie bounce rhythm in our minds the whole time. Okay, so that's just your A string at the second fret. Real simple, and we're going to be coming back to that repeatedly throughout the tune, in between the vocal breaks. For our guitar work, we're going to be pretty much around the 12th fret playing the melody of the vocal. So the melody is going to go like this. It's the last fair deal going down. Alright, and we just repeat that a few times. So all that's happening there is on the G string and B string, I've got my index and middle fingers, and I'm sliding in from like the 11th to the 12th. So starting on the G string at the 11th, and then drop back and do your boogie. Alright, so that's the first two repeats of the verse. I'll sing that and play that for you. It's the last fair deal going down. It's the last fair deal going down. And then rounding off the verse, we're going to go, it's the last fair deal going down. Good Lord, this Gulfport Island. Alright, so let's slow that down, the little third phrase of the verse. I'm just moving now onto the top two strings, and I'm going to just hit those from the 11 to the 12 a bunch of times to start off that phrase. Okay. And then after which I'm going to go G string, sliding in from the 11 to the 12, and as I reach the 12th I'm going to land on the D root on this bass string like this. Okay. And then the last part of the verse is on this Gulfport Island route. So that line is going to go like this. Gulfport Island route. So those melody notes are here. We're sliding into the 12th fret B string, 11 to the 12 on the G string, landing on the D root. So up those three strings. Once we get there, we just drop back to the 9th. And open. Okay, now here comes the tricky bit. As we come out of that, okay, now So there's a little bit of rhythmic stuff going on in there, isn't there? The tricky bit is the first part. As you come off this slide here to the open string, 2 hits brushing up with the index finger. And Blues Police again. Typical descending turnaround. Okay, so let me just walk through that verse one time, singing and playing as slowly as I can do it. It's the last fair deal going down. It's the last fair deal going down. It's the last fair deal. So that's a verse. Just repeat that again for the next verse lyric, and then we get to a section in the middle of the song that has this little break. It's really cool. It's just really the 7, you know. That kind of sound, right? We're just grabbing the 7 of the root chords, the D7, yeah? So what we need is the root note at the 5th fret on the B string, and then just step in on the G string like so. And the timing for this is just going to be these little stabs. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the lyric that goes with that is they count and they pick and they sing. So it's going to go, they count and pick and sing. They count and pick and sing. They count and pick and sing. Good Lord, on this Gulfport Island. Alright, so we've got the basic gist of the verses and the break. I'll just show you what I play as a little single note solo. Really just doing the melody from the verses, but this time on the top string, like this. And if you can play that with the thumb as well, if you're not playing with a band, that works really well, kind of like a Blind Willie Johnson approach. So on and so forth. Alright, so that is the nuts and bolts of everything you need to play the last fair deal going down. Have fun with this one, as ever, practice hard, and we'll see you guys this week. Cheers.